that very soon we will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem. Our job to bring and to build the third temple.
In recent years, we've all witnessed signs, powerful, undeniable signs that seem to echo the words of ancient prophecy. But what's happening in Israel right now feels different. It's unlike anything we've seen in decades, maybe even in centuries. After nearly 2,000 years, something extraordinary is stirring in Jerusalem. A moment that sounds almost impossible, yet it's happening before our very eyes.
They're also planning to slaughter 5 red cows. That paves the way for the building of the third temple, replacing the Dome of the...
The role of the high priest, yes, the very office once described in the Old Testament, is being restored. That's right, a man has been chosen, trained, and prepared to step into the sacred responsibilities once carried out only by the high priest of Israel. And this isn't just a cultural revival. It isn't just some historical reenactment. No, this is prophetic, because this moment is tied directly to the end-time visions written by the prophet Daniel more than 2,500 years ago.
The table of showbread is ready. The menorah is ready. All of the golden pieces are ready. The third temple is ready.
But before we move any further, let me pause and invite you, if you're fascinated by Bible prophecy, by archaeology that confirms Scripture, and by the signs of the times that are unfolding around us, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. You'll feel right at home here. Now, let's step back in time. To truly understand the significance of what's happening right now, we need to remember what the high priest represented in the days of ancient Israel. In the Old Testament, the high priest was the only one allowed to enter the Holy of Holies, the innermost chamber of the temple where the presence of God dwelled. He would do this just once a year, on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. It was on that day he carried the weight of the nation's sins, offering sacrifice on behalf of the people. But everything changed in the year 70 A.D. The Second Temple was destroyed by the Romans, and with its destruction came the end of the priesthood, the sacrifices, the sacred rituals. For nearly 2 millennia, no functioning high priest, no sacrifices, no temple, and yet the prophets declared that one day all of this would return. The book of Daniel speaks clearly about the end times. In Daniel 9:27, this prophecy reveals something staggering. In the last days, sacrifices will be happening again, which means a temple will stand once more. But think about it. If there are to be sacrifices, there must also be priests to offer them, a priesthood restored, and above them all, a high priest ready to lead. That's why what's happening in Israel right now should cause every believer to pause, to reflect, to pray. For decades, the Temple Institute in Jerusalem has been working tirelessly, quietly preparing for this very moment. Behind the scenes, they've recreated the sacred vessels of the temple, the golden menorah, the incense altar, the priestly garments described in Scripture, even a replica of the Ark of the Covenant's outer model. But that's not all. They've gone further than most people realize. The Temple Institute has been training men from the tribe of Levi, the descendants of Aaron himself, not just in theory, but in practice, teaching them the rituals, purifying them according to biblical law, preparing them to serve in a future temple. And now, for the first time in nearly 2,000 years, one of these men has been selected as a potential high priest. His name remains undisclosed, kept quiet to avoid political backlash, but sources close to the Temple Institute confirm he has completed all the training, even the most sacred rituals tied to the Day of Atonement. He is ready to step into the role that vanished with the destruction of the temple, ready to serve the moment the call comes. This isn't fiction. This isn't speculation. This is happening. Right now, think about the timeline. For almost 2,000 years, the Jewish people had no temple, no priesthood, no sacrifices. But then, in 1948, Israel was reborn as a nation. Against all odds, in 1967, Jerusalem was reclaimed. And today, in our lifetime, we are watching the restoration of the priesthood unfold before our eyes. Step by step, prophecy is coming alive, and the fact that this is happening in our generation should take our breath away. Remember, Jesus himself spoke of the last days. He pointed his followers to the book of Daniel. He told us to be alert, to watch for the signs. And now, those signs are moving from the pages of Scripture into the headlines of our time. The appointment of a high priest in Israel may seem like a small development to some, but for those who understand prophecy, it's a seismic shift, because it means the pieces are being set in place. The preparations for the third temple are no longer theoretical, they're real, tangible, ready. And if the high priest is ready, it means prophecy is closer than ever before. This isn't just history repeating itself. This is the unfolding of God's timeline. In Matthew 24-15, Jesus gave a warning that still echoes today. When you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand this prophecy points to a future moment when the temple will be rebuilt, sacrifices will resume, and the Antichrist will step in to desecrate it midway through the 7-year tribulation. But for that day to come, the temple must exist, the priesthood must be active, and the high priest must be in place. And now, Israel already has a high priest prepared, yet one more key piece remains: the red heifer. Numbers 19 describes a flawless, unblemished cow whose ashes are required to purify both priests and temple grounds. Without this purification, sacrifices cannot be offered. For centuries, no such animal could be found, but in recent years, several red heifers have been born, some even brought from Texas to Israel. Each one is inspected carefully, because even 2 non-red hairs would disqualify it. And remarkably, some remain pure. Once they reach 2 to 3 years of age, the purification ceremony can take place. When it does, the priesthood will be fully ready to serve. That means the stage is being set. Daniel spoke of a final week of years, 7 years, that will begin with a covenant involving Israel and many nations. Many believe it will be a peace or security pact in the Middle East. Halfway through, the Antichrist will break the agreement, stop the sacrifices, and commit the abomination of desolation. So with the high priest ready, the red heifer nearly prepared, and tensions in the region rising by the day, we must ask, are we standing on the edge of Daniel's 70th week? Only God knows the exact timing, but Jesus told us to watch. He warned us not to be caught off guard. We are not called to set dates, but we are called to recognize the season, and everything around us suggests we are closer than ever before. This is not a time for fear, it's a time for faith. If prophecy is unfolding before our eyes, then our response should be to draw closer to God than ever. These signs are not meant to terrify us, but to wake us up, to remind us that Jesus is coming soon. No earthly temple, no sacrifice, no priest can replace what Christ has already done. His sacrifice was final, complete, and eternal. But these things must unfold, because they are part of God's plan. And as we watch them align, we can be sure of one thing: His word is true, His timing is perfect, and He is in control. So stay watchful, stay ready, and most of all keep looking up, because your redemption is drawing near.